That's cute.
You remember this joint?
That's really cute.
What about this? Don't ever sleep on this joint, though.
Oh, yeah. That changed my life, bro.
The first one did.
But both of them did.
Because this one right here, this Cadillac on 22s.
Bro, do you see like what they doing with country music now? Like,
hold on, we'll get there.
Okay, yeah.
David Banner is here on Real Late, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I didn't even think about this song in the context of the country rap sort of thing that's happening.
Yes, with the 808s and all. It's a lot of stuff, bro.
And there's a good amount of it moving around right now.
Yeah.
Shabuzi and
I actually tried to get in contact with Shabuzi for him to redo this since he was on that vibe.
Oh,
it would have been so killer. And whoever his producer is, I would have wanted them. Me and Benny the Butcher have a song called Respect, and I redid what did I redo? A Vibrant Thing, right? But I screwed it, right? And talked to Q-Tip about it. Q-Tip spoke at the end of it, bro, and he actually did something that I would have done with Shabuzi's producer. I was like, bro, you redo the beat. And he was like, fuck that, Banner. I like exactly what you did. And then that's when J. Cole and them dropped that record with they redid that.
Is this record out, by the way, the one you just said, Respect?
It got leaked.
It got leaked somewhere?
Yeah, it got leaked.
You chopped and screwed Vibrant Thing, huh?
No, well, that version of it didn't come out.
Oh, got it. Yeah. All right, so David Banner is here. We're going to talk about a lot. He's one of my favorite guys in the culture generally.
Right.
But you said right out of the gate, there's something I have to tell you right when we start the interview.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever done this, but I want to do this for you.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what happened because that's not important. But there were some things that were going on around you. I've always felt like you were a very good person. And I'm very choicey about who I trust in hip hop. There's always been a good spirit about you, right? And I didn't come around personally because of some things that were happening around you, and that was not fair to you. So since I'm doing so well and I'm not even really dealing in music, I wanted to come to you and I wanted to find you and tell you that I didn't do anything wrong, but we could have, so many things we could have done, so many conversations that we missed for something that didn't even have to do with you, but some things that were happening around you. And like as a man, a lot of times when we make certain mistakes, we don't find each other. And I don't want to continue making that mistake, bro. I feel like there's a lot that we can do in hip hop. I feel like as men, especially, bro, you would be so surprised, especially you knowing how political I am, how much I agree with some of the things that you say. And some of the things you say, I don't even feel like is your place to say. And you still say it. And you don't have to say it. And I appreciate you as a man, bro. And when we mad at each other, we find a motherfucker and we talk bad about him.
Right.
But like when we could have done better, we don't find each other and say, I could have done better, bro. And by you specifically, bro, I could have done better. And I just wanted you to know that as a man, bro. And you didn't do anything wrong, but it was some things that was happening or I perceived to be happening around you, bro, that I was like, man, come on, bro. And I just feel like, man, like, we always say what these children should do, but we don't show it in real time. And you know how quick somebody is to talk about each other. And that's what, to me, hip hop, they have mechanized hip hop to attack hip hop. Most of the things that have hip hop in front of it, they hate the MC. They hate the culture. They tear the culture up, bro. And I was one of the few people that believe that shit that they told us about hip hop. And I don't believe that it's true. Most of the shit about hip hop is imperialistic, bro. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm one of the few that I won't debate with nobody, but I can, and I know that I will win. You know, and I loved hip hop, and I realized hip hop didn't love me or the place that I was from the way that they said. They told us, they gave us these pillars of what hip hop was, and that shit didn't treat the South that way. It did not. You know, I even give you an example, and I want to go back to what I got to say about you. Is Andre 3000 and Outkast. Mm-hmm. They say that Outkast is one of the best groups of all times, like of any genre of music. So how can you skip them being the best rap group of all time if they one of the best groups of all time? But you're so imperialistic that you can't come out your mouth to say that it may be possible that the best rap group of all time came out of Atlanta, Georgia. And then you want us to give respect and homage to some shit that don't love where your grandmama's from.
Well said.
So for me, bro, I just wanted to take this time to tell you, bro, that I appreciate you, bro. And my perception of what was going on wasn't necessarily the truth, but I didn't come around. Like a lot of times when y'all request me to come up, I purposely didn't come around for some shit that did happen, but didn't have nothing to do with you, bro. And moving forward, I want to do better.
Well, I certainly appreciate your sentiment. I appreciate you even more for just having an honest conversation with someone. And even though I don't understand the exact dynamics, it doesn't really matter because I know all of the potential dynamics that may exist. You know what I mean? Given the place that I work, the things that I'm around, things that have been said, things that have happened, it's certainly not surprising to hear. So I do truly appreciate that. And
it doesn't really fucking matter because as from a very esoteric standpoint, bro, all of this shit don't matter, bro. The older that I'm getting, this music shit, all of this business shit, bro. Are you a good or bad person, bro?
Well, isn't that one of the hardest things? Like, and that's one of the things I've always admired about you is that you've always just been a very honest, direct, thoughtful, pensive person. And the thing that you said to me specifically when I saw you out was something that you just included. We ran into each other at a Conway listening a few years ago. Maybe God forgives, I don't remember which it was.
I was clean as a motherfucker. Now, I remember I had on the black trench coat.
Nah, you look good.
I was clean as a bitch in that.
No. You looked rich. You looked rich.
I was rich, but I looked awesome.
No, but that's the thing.
I looked awesome. Okay, go
That's
ahead.
The most important part. No, but you said the same thing that you just said to me, which was truly meaningful for me because I know who you are, what you represent. I say, though? You just said, yo, I just want you to know I appreciate the things that you say, and sometimes you shouldn't have to be the one to say it, but I appreciate that you say it. And the reason that means a lot to me is most of the shit that I get negative energy for, particularly in this era on the internet, is who the fuck are you to be saying that? Instead of saying maybe you're a good person and you're saying because you actually care, I get much more of you shouldn't be. And shut the fuck up.
But the crazy thing is, in some cases, if you don't say it, it may not be heard on the level that it can affect. This is what I feel about white people. I feel like white people shouldn't talk to black people about the shit that's happening to black people. They should talk to other white people.
Correct.
Like the people that's in their circles that they know are racist fucks, that they know that are in. Like I tell you, I don't know if he wants me to say this, but I believe he trusts me enough. Bubba Sparks told me about like his family lineage and who his dad is. And like the stuff he literally had to encounter with hip hop and then with his dad being, and then his dad evolved. But he fought for the culture, sometimes in ways, but you got to think about it. I probably, only because I trust you in the way that I trust you and who I think you are, I can say this, I go through that as a black man. Like, think about what I know. Think about, and I'm not saying I'm the smartest man in the world, but I hate being wrong. So usually when I say something in an interview, I've studied it for 5-10 years. Right. So if I'm saying something to you, the thing that hurts me the most is, bro, like even during the pandemic, when I said some of the things that I said about these certain medicines, my own people ate me the fuck up. But then when it comes on CNN, then nobody comes back and say, well, David Banner, maybe you were right. Like, you got to think, bro, I've been thinking this way since the 11th grade in Mississippi. I told Sadat X, who was Derek X at the time, Brand Nubian is the reason why I stopped eating pork in Mississippi in 11th fucking grade. So it's like, bro, I've been thinking this way by myself for so fucking long. And the people that I fight for the most are, like, let me tell you what's crazy about white people and me. Since I'm from Mississippi, like when I go on CNN and shit and they say they David Banner from Mississippi, usually they won't debate me about racism. Right. They're like, oh, he knows spicy racism. You know what
He's
I'm saying?
seen the real Mississippi that real American racism.
But this is what I would tell you, and I will say this. The thing that I love about the white people in Mississippi, I respect a white person in Mississippi more than I respect any white man on this earth. And let me tell you why. If a white man in Mississippi loves you, he would die for you. If a white man in Mississippi don't like you, he'll try to kill you. At least you know where you are. It won't be like in New York where you'll be around a person like and be working with him for 40 years and then he stole your pension and you don't know it until you're 87. At least, bro, like at least you know who the fuck you dealing with. That's all I want from anybody. I had this girl one time and I respect her more than any woman that I ever dated. Right when I started blowing up in Mississippi, I had met her. She was my nail tech at the time. And we used to go out and we used to drink all the time.
You had a nail tech even back then, huh?
Yeah, man. I've always
I've
always been pimping.
Yeah, the pimping cleanness has always been.
That's the thing that I don't understand about the South. They always call us dirty, and now we the cleanest motherfuckers on this planet, dog. We keep our cars clean and shit. Everybody
that is a fact.
Yeah. But we started going out and stuff and drinking. We got really close. And she came to me one day and she said, David Banner, can I say the word fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Fuck. She said, David Banner, there may be since I see that you blowing up in Mississippi, and I just want you to know we go out a lot, and I respect your image. She said that some men may come up to you and tell you that they fucked me. She said about 70% of them are telling the truth. She said, I went through a period in my life where I didn't know who I was, and I was out there. And she said, I care about you so much. Now that you know this, if you don't want to be around me in public, I understand that. And I respected her more than any other woman because she at least gave me the choice instead of motherfuckers laughing and snickering around me. You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, like I'm learning as I grow up, we all got fuck shit about us, bro. And like, no matter what you believe in, who you having sex with, your religion, who you vote for, we all got our shit, bro. You know, and one of the things I've been telling black people lately is as much as we talk about right-wing extremists, the American public is becoming more and more like Trump every day, bro. We say shit we haven't researched.
Facts.
If somebody don't believe in what we believe in, we get mad enough that we want to fight them now.
Listen, I had a conversation with my dad a couple years ago. My wife and I got a little spot out on Long Island. And when we were picking the spot, my parents are just very averse to spending money and having a second place to live that I wasn't raised. I know I'm Jewish. Everyone assumes like my parents don't understand like getting a second property, like things like that are just not what we're accustomed to. But then on top of that, the place we were at in Long Island, he started freaking out about the demographics because of what you're saying, right wingers, Trumpers, if you will. I said to my dad, and don't get me wrong, I'm very triggered by a MAGA sign. Very triggered by it, I admit it. But I said to my dad when he was saying like, if you're near these people, but I said, Dad, at what point do we just become what you're saying they are? That line is I'm not saying I want my kid to be in a school where every kid's parents are MAGA. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I probably wouldn't trust that. But at the same time, when you're saying we can't be near a certain kind of person, now that is literally taking the thing that we accuse them of being, and we are now becoming that.
And what we don't understand is, I learned this about elite white people, right? One of the things that I have learned is to be calm. A lot of times, black people have gone through so much that by the time they get to somebody that could consider them, you're mad because you've been through so much shit. Bro, even if you are dead right and you came at me screaming, I'm like, dog, fuck you. Like, I'm going to be defensive. So the thing that I learned is we thwart the opportunity to, and that was one of the reasons why I came to you about what I came to you, because when I saw you at the Conway shit, I felt the same way then, but I didn't know how to articulate how I felt because I was in my feelings about the shit that had happened in the first place. So a lot of times, bro, most of the shit that goes on with all of our cultures is from ignorance and pain, bro. And a lot of times this kid who are these things that we despise, bro, they may have not encountered anybody that can articulate the other side calm enough and well enough, bro. It's a lack of information on both sides. And you know how I feel politically, bro.
Of course.
For me to learn that and have to break myself after all of the shit that I went through, bro, come on, man. We have to become wise, bro. And in wisdom, there's a certain level of calmness, bro.
It's a great point. Calmness, even though you disagree, a lack, and this, I'm working on this. As my old professor Coleman McCarthy used to say, God is not done with me. Empathy, not judging in every
And
single
bro, hold on,
moment.
let me interrupt you. It is so crazy. And only the people who are looking, like who are watching this, like on a camera, I mean, or from a visual standpoint. Look at we're having such an intelligent conversation with both of our legs crossed.
Yo, our legs are super crossed
we
right
are
now.
literally, I'm talking about every syllable. You can hear it, bro. We've grown so much.
No, hip hop has grown up, man. Hip hop's 51 years old.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, please.
Where did you meet your wife? She has such a great, I'm really into spirits and
Yes.
stuff. She seems like so much better than us.
No, her spirit she has one of the great spirits of all time. Honestly,
where'd
it's crazy.
you find her?
So in the pandemic, it's April 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten divorced in May 2019. My divorce went final. So about a year later, I just been on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Been on a few dates, but really took my time to kind of get my legs back. And the pandemic starts, and one day. The funny thing about this day is that earlier in the day, for the first time, I went, you know what? I'd never really been seriously with a Jewish woman. And I was like, I'm gonna look on JDate, the Jewish dating website. I went through the whole little process. I got to the end. I was like, I'm not going on a dating website. I'm public. I'm not doing it. I'm good.
Right.
Boom. 2-3 hours later, a tweet from this woman pops up. This woman who she never tweets, by the way. Especially then, she was very sporadic on Twitter. A tweet pops up on my timeline. And I was like, who is this person? And why do I follow them? And like I clicked on her picture and I was like, she's cute. And I saw she was a photographer. She took sick photos, whatever. And so I slid in her DMs. But her name, my wife's last name is Amrossi. Amrossi. No part of me thought Jewish. I was off of that.
That's really pimping, by the way. I mean, if you're into the culture, that Ambrossi is dope as fuck. That might be a rapper's name. You'll get some publishing. Don't trip. Okay, go ahead.
So I said, but no part of me thought that. I just sent her a DM and I said, some regular DM sliding shit. I was like, don't ask why today is the day, but how are you? She thought I was reaching out for business. She'd been following me for years because she's from here. She's from Queens. Right. And then when I looked at it, I was like, oh, yeah, she's a photographer. Oh, I've seen her because she has a lot of followers. Right. A lot of people post her stuff. And then that was it. We started talking, and that's how I found this wonderful spirit. But I didn't know. It was clear very quickly that she's a different kind of person.
Yeah. And bro, like we need some grounding, man. Like no bullshit, man. I'm becoming a different person, and I've been telling some of the people that I know, like, I don't know this guy that I'm becoming. Like, I'm getting to know myself. And it's really hard as a rapper, bro, because no bullshit, bro, like, the God Box 2 has been done for 5 years. And it's one of the dopest albums I've ever heard in my life. But spiritually, it didn't. When I made it because the God Box 1, the God Box was always meant to be a concept album. It's supposed to have been, my people, when they were connected to the land and God, then the Middle Passage, and we became what people see today, which is separated from the land, separated from the true God. Then the third album was going to be, the first album was the God album. The second album was the Savage album. And then the third album was going to be the Human album. You know what I'm saying? We had been gods, lost God, became, what we are today, then evolved, but you got to understand it's balanced now. It's just being human. And I heard of what very wise person once tell me that we're just God having a human experience, a physical experience, trying to find our way back. But like when the pandemic happened and I watched the shift in culture, I didn't believe that at least my people needed to hear that from me. But when I tell you this shit is so fucking jamming, but I don't know, man, like for some reason, bro, what we do and say to people matters to me. And all of my team, I always say that it matters too much, bro. But like, I remember what hip hop did for me, bro. I remember what Lyrics of Fury meant to me, bro. I remember, Souls of Mischief and what they did for me, bro. You know, what A Tribe Called Quest did. All my friends used to laugh at me, bro, because I would listen to hip hop, but I was living, you know, the kind of music I make now. And I would always tell them, I don't want to be encapsulated in that shit all the time. I walk outside and see that shit. I don't need to hear that shit in my mind and in my ears, bro. And so I always wanted to be there. And I think my very first album, Mississippi, the album, was that. Like we needed NWA. You know what I'm saying? We needed A Tribe Called Quest. We needed Outkast, bro. You know
all these different.
Yes. You know, and that's what made hip hop different. That was our news at the time. That was our internet. That was our CNN, bro. You know, everything wasn't so positive. We needed De La Soul the same way that we needed MC8, bro. We needed it all. Only thing hip hop ever needs is balance, bro. Because the problem with most people who criticize hip hop is when they talk about, especially the children, you're not willing to talk to the children and really listen to the shit that they saying. It's a cry for help, you know? And when shit was good and we had money, we had happy fucking music. But people, the real thing that I notice about most people, bro, is they don't really want shit to get better because the money is in complaining. The money is in bitching. You know, I have somebody specific and they probably know who they are, but bro, like, bro wouldn't even listen to the God Box. I'm saying, bro, you always complaining, but here's the album that you say that we don't have. It just don't come from the place that you think it should come from. I said that in the rhyme. I was like, what if the Savior didn't come from the East? You know, just what if? But the thing about hip hop that's so beautiful that if you allow her to travel and you treat her right, she will come back to you. And believe it or not, Pimp C taught me that. Pimp C say, Banner, spend that money on her. She'll bring it back to you. All these rappers be holding their budget. Spend that budget on the music. And if you treat her right, put your money, invest your money in her, she will bring it back to you, bro. And I always believe that. I'm going to tell you something that I haven't said on many shows, bro. I spent over $1 million on positive hip hop. And niggas talk that positive hip hop shit. Bro, I did Crooked Letters. I did the God Box. I did Death of a Pop Star with me and Ninth Wonder. I funded all that shit, bro. And ain't one time that I ever done no positive, the shit that hip hoppers say that we should do, that motherfuckers supported me like they should have. People don't really want better hip hop. They just want to control the space because they don't either have the talent or the wherewithal to evolve. I said that today when I went up to Sirius. I was like, yo, they was like, what song do you want to hear? I said, I want to hear Bombs Over Baghdad. And they said, why? I said, because I want to change the spirit in the room. If you notice most battle rappers, I will argue that the further away a person is from when hip hop started, the better battle rapper they would be if they would play a more rounded type of beats. Like somebody from the South can rap over Bombs Over Baghdad. The closer you are to hip hop, the less you would be able to wreck that beat. Oh, yeah, you feel what I'm saying? 100%. We can rap over West Coast beats. We can rap over the further you are, just like a person that's probably from Africa probably could rap over any type of beat that you put on, from Afro beats. Like a Southerner may not be able to rap over Afro beats, but an African can probably rap over Southern beats, West Coast beats, New York beats, because they've always had to, like, in some ways, if you look at discrimination in the right way, it makes you better if you ever get the opportunity to practice what you've learned from it. So,
turn your mic a little bit towards yourself. Like, let's turn it up. Like,
okay, there you go. I'm just right here. Okay.
Wow.
Now it sounds so much better.
Wow. Now you mentioned something. You mentioned very casually listening to Brand Nubian and everything else that you said. Who were you first discovering? And did you have any friends in your immediate circle who all wanted to nerd out and let's just take in all the hip hop?
I didn't really get those friends until I was in college. My uncle was from the North, and for some reason he wanted to become a blues DJ. So he moved to Mississippi and he gave me all his hip hop records. So I was in 5th or 6th grade. He brought me, I remember the first record I ever got was Rock Lestat from Stetsasonic. Mm-hmm. So I had Mantronics, Tila Rock, Stetsasonic, records like that, bro, in Mississippi, bro.
What year's Rock Lestat?
You know, and
that's early.
it changed my life, bro. And like, the crazy thing that people don't know about Mississippi, when I was growing up, Mississippi was one of the murder capitals of the United States. Cause like when cats from Chicago would get in trouble, they would move to their grandmother's house, you know, where we from. And so it was really rough. My friend in my neighborhood was the first person in Jackson, Mississippi to die from gang violence.
Wow.
So like hip hop took me somewhere else, bro. And that's the thing that I'm always grateful for. And when you look at my level of consciousness didn't just come from hip hop, but if I didn't get those nuggets from those hip hop groups, I probably wouldn't have been open to reading from the Broader Files or reading, you know, Malcolm X or those type of books. So I'm grateful. And if you look at me, bro, like I always, even from my first album, I always drop that shit in all of my records, no matter what people say, bro. Like, I always did it, and I believe that was my responsibility. I even give you an example. People Instinctive Travels, right? Bro, they left open a lot of break beats, bro.
Yeah, they did.
I wouldn't have, dog. And so, like, I've had a record where I told the motherfucker at the end of the record, go and sample that shit. And I went, doom, doom, cat, doom, cat. Then I went, I gave him the whole drum kit to sample because I wanted to give back like Tribe gave back to me when I couldn't find, you know, beats.
And would you rap over stuff? Would you loop stuff like that up and rap on it?
What you mean?
That's how you started?
Yeah.
Like taking a Tribe record and saying, "Oh, thank you."
Oh no, I would chop up like where they had open breaks and
take
different
the pieces,
stuff like that.
and
Take
actually
the
chop
pieces,
the pieces.
yeah, and chop that, and then make the drum beats. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what was your first machine?
You know what? I had this Sony small, like little $30, $40, $50, and it only had like a 4 second sampler. And so what I would do was I would take my my tape recorder and I would put it on fast dub and then put it up to the speaker and sample it. Then I would get 10 seconds. And then I would chop up the beats and I would rhyme over that shit. Like, bro, like no bullshit, bro. Like, I've loved and done things and been laughed at for hip hop, bro, in ways, and spent so much money and time in hip hop. And like when I finally got to the point where I got an opportunity, and Erykah Badu said this to me. She was like, when you really see, I mean, she didn't say it like this, but I'm gonna say it like, when you really look in the asshole of hip hop, you can never unsee what you saw. Dave Chappelle did it on his show The Best when he was talking about the industry. And she told me, Erykah just said, you have to just remember those things that you did love. And when you find those moments that make you love hip hop the way that it did, you just got to sit in it as long as you can. And if it never comes back, just be thankful that you ever experienced it. Because, bro, I wouldn't be the man that I am without hip hop.
Where, in what situations right now do you feel the most intense love for hip hop like you used to have back in the day?
Okay. I just came back from Jazzy Jeff's playlist retreat.
Man, what?
Bro, it was the most amazing experience.
I'm upset that I didn't know about this again.
Bro.
I've told Jeff about, how did you find, he sends an email or something?
Listen to me, let me tell you. So this is how it happened with us. I was supposed to go, you know, he did it 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was supposed to go and didn't go at the last moment. And to be honest with you, I was done with music. I was on I got this album, I'll put it out like if I, you know, when I get done with my my movie, I might just put the album out just so I have something to talk about. Like I just really didn't have my ass on music at all anymore. And man, Jeff and the people that he had, bro, and I'm not gonna go into it, man, but like I was with Clark Kent, bro, and I didn't know it was him. Like, he lost so much weight. I was in my shit. I was going through shit, man. And dude kept telling me, like, I'm going to get you to rap again. I'm going to get you to rap. You need to rap. I need you rapping. And bro, like, once I realized who it was, bro, it even made that moment mean that much more to me. Because I wasn't on no music shit. And he really meant it. Like, I need you to. And before I left there, bro, I did a song with De La Soul. I did 2 beats and rapped twice. And man, like Jeff was like, bro, like, if you think about it, hip hop has never done anything to you. The things around hip hop that you associated, but hip hop has done nothing but change my life. Hip hop took me to other places. I remember, man, and I'll say this, bro. and this is a strange song, and people gonna trip on this, bro. Words of Wisdom by Third Base. That fucking beat, it was something out of worldly about that beat. That that part of that song, boy. But it's the break of it. I'll show it to you when they come up. We keep talking. But
I have this record in my jukebox, the sample, the original.
Bro.
This is Gary Wright.
And I'm from Mississippi. Like, bro, bro, no bullshit, bro. Like, I love this shit, man. And when I found out this shit, like, I'm thinking about doing a but keep it going until the breakdown comes.
Is it at the end?
No, they do it in the
chorus.
They do. You hear it. But I'm thinking about doing a show dedicated to lyrics, but I'm not going to say that it's a Southern lyric show, but I'm going to really do mostly Southern artists. And I'm doing it because of Pastor Troy. Pastor Troy has a song called Vice Versa. It's one of the most esoteric songs that I've ever heard in my life. And he's a Christian. He's basically saying, what if everything that they taught you is a lie? What if heaven is hell and hell that? Okay, I gotta get my composure.
Vice Versa.
Yeah, Vice Versa from. Matter of fact, play that shit, bro. Listen to his verse, and I really believe this about most New Yorkers, bro. Like, they never even gave our shit an opportunity to listen to it, bro.
I never heard a Pastor Troy album. Just the singles.
Bro, he's one of the reasons why him and Pimp C are really the reasons why I became the David Banner that y'all love. I heard No Play in GA, and I said I can go back to Mississippi and do what he's doing for Atlanta. And I went back home. I left Atlanta and went back home. Like, listen to this verse, bro. I'm gonna be quiet. Listen to what he's saying vocally. And what's different is somebody like Nas can do a record like this and be respected, but that shit don't bump in the club. They went crazy in the club for this shit. So imagine having something this deep, like on a Nas level, but motherfuckers in the fucking club getting crunk like that shit Lil Jon? Come on, bro. And they'll never give him, so it's my responsibility to do it. Listen. What if heaven was hell or vice versa? I reimburse you with the truth, so you know my fate. They pray I die, I'm that nigga that they love to hate. I wanna make you use your mind, God has sent the sign. And when you listen to these rhymes, nigga, take your time. Again, alright, watch it, that's just the hook though. Vice versa. Would you start doing evil in order to nurture the spirit, man? Do you understand that there's a war? It's raging on and the devil got some ammo too. Don't get me wrong, but I put my trust off in the Lord. It's too corrupt. No, that God gon' help me blow him up. I give a fuck. I didn't mean the hook, but just the beginning. I have no fear. I done witnessed too much hell right here. Lend me your ear, call the bill. We had the pro. For all our niggas hit the devil with the 44. Hey back, nigga, my liquor keep me from trying to enter. Battle alone and to deal with all this wickedness. I smoke a zone. No, I'm grown, but I'm still a baby. It's vice versa, so I guess I've been saying the same. God, I'm confused. The views of all these motherfuckers. Did you hear what he just said?
What he said?
Go ahead, just keep listening. Oh my God. With the click of nasty concubine. It's vice versa, so she probably do the whole nine. The nasty hoe. I don't know where I'ma go this Christmas. It's Satan's birth. I'ma try to smoke a pound of weed and ease the earth. While Jesus equipped with angels and devils equipped with God. For God so loved the world that he blessed us with God. Won't stop until they feel me. Protect me, devil. Think the Lord is trying to kill me. It's vice versa. Hey, but it's vice versa. Why does Doja keep me high? To see the Lord Almighty, nigga, I'm ready to die. My reply, but in the question asked, listen, the devil made me do it. Who's the devil, may I ask? It's so polluted, uprooted from all this stupid shit.
See me cremated, my adaptation to the climate. So glad I made it, elated that they gon' go to heaven. But did they know heaven may not be the place to go? Again I ask, heaven was hell and vice versa. The devil's demon, I be damned if I'm gonna let God hurt you.
Stop. So all the lies that they done told black folks, but we trust what they tell us about God. And Pastor Troy is saying, what if heaven ain't the place to go? What if the good person is actually the exact opposite? And think about it, for a black person in America, they have lied to us about every fucking thing. Why should I believe what you say about Christianity?
Right.
Or any other thing? And he said that in that song. And even people in the South, I don't think heard it like he said it, bro. And it's my responsibility as a person that has been discriminated against in hip hop is to maybe give him his flowers, so they'll know how to give another Southern person their flowers, bro. I said this, man, and people talked about it a little bit, bro. Like they have so much to say about the Migos, but still everything about them little boys' style or them young men's style. But can't give them credit for being innovators, not just from a rap perspective, but from a cultural standpoint, from a rhyme scheme standpoint. Motherfuckers are genius, and they won't even give them credit for being genius, bro. And so, like, man, like I said, bro, I want to do a Southern lyric show, bro. Like Bun B's verse on Murder, bro. Come on, man. I will say this though, even though I am gonna base it on Southerners, bro. Cameron, The Rock, that verse.
Mm-hmm. Now Cam's got his verses. Cam is sort of an interesting comp for a Southern rapper in that way too, because it's not always. It's sometimes very simple, but there's sometimes a lot more there,
bro. Like anyway, so like man, for me, man, I like that verse from Vice Versa, man. Like, cause
I just love that you brought it up, because I'm telling you right now, I don't care what people say. I'm just one of the people that will be honest about these things. Mm-hmm. East Coast snobs, sort of like myself to some degree, though I'm not really, but it is built into who I am and how I got into music. No one's talking about Pastor Troy songs besides No More Play.
And the crazy thing about it is, even if you went and told somebody, like, bro, you gotta listen to this young boy. I think of Vice Versa on the level of, I forgot the Nas verse, but
about
like
the gun,
he rapped the shit backwards. No, when he rapped
rewind.
Like, bro, like Vice Versa is on that fucking level, but they'll never give Pastor Troy his fucking credit on, bruh. He's saying stuff that people feel in their heart but scared to say, bro.
You brought up another thing, by the way, the Migos thing. Mm-hmm. The Migos are one of the greatest rap groups of all time. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the proof at this point is in the pudding. I mean, I know right now, obviously, Takeoff has been killed. They're not together. Mm-hmm. I don't know what version of them we'll ever get, if at all. But regardless of that, from their time they burst on the scene to when Takeoff was murdered, even if you just look at that run, they're one of the greatest rap groups of all time.
And if nothing else, but their influence. Like, one of the criticisms that I have, most people don't want to admit, like, who the best rapper is or who the best basketball player is. And I don't think, especially the people who benefit financially off of rap and people that run the NBA, they don't ever really want a definitive answer. Because if we really are about culture, all we have to do is get some guidelines. Okay, if you're going to say who the best basketball player, let's say 40% of it has to be championships. We agree with that. You know, maybe 30% is influence. And then we agree on something. We can argue about that part. But, like, I don't really think that people want to, they just want to, whoever they feel like, you know, influence them during the time, you know, when it meant to them, that's the person who they want.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the funny part about, like, when I used to get into it so much about Kendrick's greatness with people, which that obviously it's one of the arguments of mine that's aged best. But at the time, what they didn't understand is I was like, yo, listen, the kid isn't my personal number one. I'm too old. He's not my number one. I grew up on A Tribe Called Quest and Public Enemy, and But when you're able to spot it and hear it, you should be able to identify it, even if it's not what you grew up on in your moment. Because we're also naturally biased to the stuff that was of our era. And that you're right, that's not a fair way to grade.
Right. And that affected our lives. You know, one of the reasons why Jordans, the shoes sell so well is because most of us who grew up during that period, like that was happening. I had the 3s on when that happened. My girlfriend broke my heart when I had the 5s. And like, it was really a part of culture, and people don't connect it in that way. But because I have a different way of thinking, I can see that shit, bro. But like, for me, man, I just hate the fact that hip hop has turned into something that we don't enjoy anymore. We argue over. Like, I'll tell you a mistake that I made, and I'm enough of a man to say this. I was such a big Tupac fan that I missed the brilliance of Biggie. I didn't know Pac like that. Like, I could have enjoyed them both equally, listened to them both, and, you know, I missed the opportunity to maybe one of the greatest rappers, bro, just because of how much Tupac influenced me. And one of the things I always tell people is you can't discredit the influence that Pac had. For anything you may criticize him on lyrically, he made up 30 times.
Yeah, it's a different. Those are two such different things.
But the thing is that I believe when it comes to MCing is like being a doctor. Just because you do surgery the best doesn't mean that you qualified to be a doctor. In order to be a doctor, there's a group of things that you have to be able to do or be competent in, and all of them enough to say that you're a doctor. It's the same way as MCs. I think a lot of times, East Coast, those people that you talk about, the snobby motherfuckers, they think just because a motherfucker can rap, that he's the greatest rapper. No, motherfucker, you're boring. You have no stage presence. Like, I would always tell people, and people got mad at me, I always thought Busta Rhymes was my favorite MC from New York because he did everything. He may have not done it at 100% level, but he did enough of it where he was 85% to 90% in all of those categories that I think make you great as an MC.
And then his performance, and then his live shows 100.
Exactly.
So then you add the 100 on top.
On top of
which is a big part of MCing is the live performance.
Exactly.
You can't. That's not an add-on,
bro. That's why I fuck with you, and you're able to explain. It's not emotional. You're able to explain. This is why I feel the way that I feel, bro. And so, like, most of the people who people like as MCs and who say that they favorite MCs, they're fucking boring to me. And as a producer, when I produce people like them, they actually think that they're better than the beat. And so they end up having, and think about most of our favorite MCs, if they would have not tried to always been the better MC, that they probably would have had better albums because their ego end up running them away from the best producer that made them the greatest overall artist in the first place.
Let me ask you a question. Speaking of the South, speaking of like giving people respect and their legend status, I for the first time a few weeks ago, I met Metro Boomin, right? And you know, I went up to him and he was like, "Oh man, you're a legend." I was like, "Bro," and it only crossed my mind for the first time. I was like, "Bro, you're a legend." I was like, "You're the newest version that we have of a true big name producer that really garners respect, attention, can change a record, has a style, has done multiple different things." I don't know the last time we had someone who's come along in this era who's taken up that sort of space.
Well, this is what I'll say overall. And this was funny. I just met Metro Boomin.
Really?
And like at it was at Swizz art installment in Atlanta. It was like maybe 2 months ago. I just
him and Alicia brought their insane art collection down there.
Yeah, stupid, right?
Yeah, I missed it here, but I heard it's amazing.
But this is what I'll say, and this has nothing to do with Metro Boomin. I mean this in general. I don't believe if we really love culture that we throw around the legend word way too much.
Yes,
like
even using it on both me and him, I'm being loose.
Even if a person deserves it, you gotta give, like, I never forget this. Dirk Nowitzki, when he won his first championship, they start comparing him to Larry Bird. That's disrespectful to Larry Bird. You're comparing him to someone who had a whole fucking career when they're like maybe 45%, 60% into their career. Even if people wanted to call me a legend before my time, I wouldn't let them because what it does is it dilutes the culture. And so what
sort of lowers the ceiling on you.
It does the same thing.
You're like, oh, I'm already there. It's like, no, you still want to go further.
And I wouldn't let a person say that, you know? And what happens is I'm being honest with you, it's old white men who are trying to sell merch and paraphernalia. They started saying that LeBron was comparable or the best a little bit too early in his career, even though we all saw that he had the potential to be that, because they can't make that kind of money on Jordan anymore, even if they know that he's the best.
Even if they make a lot of money.
Right. But they don't have like real time control because LeBron is playing right now.
Right.
So it behooves them to push that narrative, whether it's good for NBA culture or not. Right. And the argument for me is not either or for me. It's just that I think sometimes, bro, we say things because it's convenient to us, and overall it kills the culture, bro.
But in this specific thing, remove the word legend from it. I do think the space that Metro occupies is exciting.
He's fucking amazing.
Like I was excited when I thought about it, because you know what it dawned on me? The Kanye record he did is now, that's like almost 10 years old.
Bro, let me tell you.
He's actually had put in a real body of work now.
Let me tell you something, bro. The X record that he did, bro, he successfully did something that I had always been trying to do in music, bro. And I'm so proud of him. Him and Sonny Digital. Like, bro, I always wanted to take video game music and slum it out. I always wanted to make happy. Like, I sort of did it on Rubber Band Man. Like,
that's that.
Make it feel good, but like bring it. Bro, and he has done that, man. It's so fucking creative. And like, I know people may not know where it came from, and I don't even know what his influence is, bro. But I'm so like excited, and I told him that, bro. Like, I'm the type of motherfucker, if I like you, I'll tell you, bro. Like, that shit is fucking jamming. He's amazing, bro. And he was able, whether he tried to do it or not, he brought creative music, bro, to a generation that cared more about a vibe. Motherfuckers want a vibe. It ain't really like we aggressively want to make dope shit. Motherfuckers just want a vibe.
It's the whole thing is vibe. I mean, it's there are certain artists out here who are incredibly popular, and if you were to describe, well, what makes them great? You end up being like, it's a vibe. Yeah. It's really just a vibe.
And it's okay because
that's okay, but it is nice when there's a next level.
But what I'll tell you, bro, since capitalism and commercialism really took over America, and for black people, when we integrated, since we integrated, each generation has degraded culturally, regardless. Because if you think about it, man, regardless of what anybody says, bro, like, look at Curtis Mayfield. And then, I mean, this may not be a great example because Prince was so great.
Right.
But in Prince's eyes, look at Prince from Curtis Mayfield. Then look from Prince to Public Enemy. From Public Enemy maybe to David Banner or whoever's after David. Then from David Banner or T.I. or whoever, Lil Wayne, whoever you want to do. Each generation, people, you can look at it and see something has structurally changed. Whether it was the crack epidemic and we no longer playing instruments no more, bro. Whether it was the business and we going from, groups of people producing, and I don't mean like producing from a producer standpoint, but groups of people being in a room, actually vibing in a way that brings a synthesis of feelings and spirits. And I heard somebody say that you can't even do certain types of harmonies anymore because you don't have more than one person singing on a harmony. And that's what makes certain special harmonies, is that you got different spirits, different tones, and different people maybe singing the same notes, but all melding together, making something that you would never ever be able to hear or make again, bro. And that's why it's important. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to be in the room with you when I said what I said at the beginning of the show, because I wanted you to feel my spirit. I wanted you to know that I was telling the truth. And I think Metro Boomin has done a great job, man, with whether he tried to or not, of bringing the spirit of just what we do together, man. And I met him, bro. And to be as big as he is, I could feel the kid in him. He was so he was excited. He didn't know I was excited to see him, but he was excited to see me. He was like, oh, man, it's so good to meet you, bro. I was like, oh.
Bro, listen, when I met him, and pardon me, I have to throw this Yankee game on while we talk. When I met him, it was at WWE Bad Blood. And I worked for WWE also. And he was down there. He did the song for it. You know, got himself a nice bag. They put him in the promo with Cody Rhodes. They put him in the front row. They did the whole thing. This kid was so happy to be there. He was so... listen, I meet a lot of artists, and I have to tell you, when someone gets as big as he's gotten, and I haven't met them along the way because I never interviewed him. We never had a run. His whole run, we didn't follow each other online. We didn't run into each other. We just ran into each other.
But that also shows you how big he is too as an artist. There's certain people that in my generation, you just had to. If not bump into him, you had to go through that gate in order to get where you wanted to go. And that's something phenomenal.
He went around. His thing was so big.
He went around everything, though, bro. And created a lane with a group of people. You got to think, even the people that he fuck with, he don't have to go outside of the people that he fuck with. He don't have to do no new people if he chose not to, bro. And that's how dope what some of these kids did, bro. And it's to be talked about, bro. And I thank you, bro, because again, you don't have to do that, bro. Like, they don't talk about him enough where we from. You know, and since you did that, I want to take time out, man, to give some love to Lil Jon, bro, because first of all, people, Lil Jon, and especially Beats by the Pound, I think should be talked about the way that we talk about Pharrell and Timberland. My personal opinion. Lil Jon maybe didn't have, because I saw a statistic, bro. I think it was either 82 or 85%. There was a year that the Neptunes had like 82% of everything that was on urban radio. But people didn't remember there was a year that Lil Jon had a very, very high number too. Because I remember when I put Like a Pimp out, it was actually because I tried to put the Lil Jon song out first, and literally DJ said it's too much Lil Jon music on the radio. We're not gonna play your shit. I mean, Southern DJs was telling me that.
Right. They're like, I have too many.
It was just too many Lil Jon records, bro. And my generation, bro, whether we admit it or not, we followed Lil Jon through the door. And I just want to take this time, man, as a producer, as an artist, bro, just to give him his credit and say thank you.
As a producer and as an artist, what is there one or two Lil Jon records to you that impress you the most sound wise? He has so much different stuff, by the way. That's like, he has a very distinct sound, but there are a bunch of different versions of it.
Bro, it's so many fucking Lil Jon records, bro. And I actually I cleaned my sound up because of Lil Jon. I found out the reason why my records were not banging, because I was actually sampling samples that had been sampled, right? Instead of going back and finding the drum machine that it actually came from, or finding the actual record, I was sampling somebody else's break beat instead of going to find the actual break beat and sampling it first generation or second generation after the original record, right? And then as I became more advanced technologically, I literally stopped sampling and started lifting waves. Like, once I could find the waves, I was like, fuck sampling. I could actually have the real drummer. There's a record, I don't know if it's ever going to come out, that I did for Benny the Butcher, where I had some Isaac Hayes waves. Bro, it's the actual sounds off the real fucking record, bro. It sounds exactly, the beat sounds exactly, and I didn't add anything from my drum machine. I just manipulated the drums and stuff from what Isaac Hayes had actually done and kept all the original sounds. The shit sounds so fucking big and exactly like his record, but young in the way that we would have put the stems together. And bro, like, I got that from Lil Jon.
You realize that when you think about Lil Jon, the first records, obviously, that I think of are Put Your Hood Up and Bia Bia. That was one era of his sound. And I feel like, in my memory, at least as a DJ, receiving it as it all came along, Get Low was a transitional point. I know this sounds crazy. What I'm about to say is absolute madness. It's one of the biggest records I've ever played out as a DJ.
Yeah.
I never truly loved Get Low.
Bro.
It was never my joint.
It's okay.
But what it led to, because like Get Low was big, there's so many little elements that made it such a crowd-pleasing song. But just sonically, it's not my shit. But from where it started there, and then by the time you get to Yeah. You're getting, you're like, oh my, he just kept evolving.
But like we can keep going. Even look at where he is now. The type of music that he's doing now, black people don't even know about it, bro. And he's doing shit all over the world.
He's the richest he's ever been.
And bro, I would tell him to never come back. Stay, bro. keep going. And bro, but let me tell you something, bro. Like, you may laugh at this, but you know the caricature that like Dave Chappelle makes about Lil Jon?
Of course.
It's the truth. Lil Jon is a fucking genius. Shit that you think that he just got in the studio and vibed, that motherfucker will sit down and write his chants like a Jay-Z verse, bro. And I'm not bullshitting. He is dead serious. And as much as people would be like, bro, that's so simple. That's the reason why it works. He's so fucking, he's a fucking scientist, bro.
I got to see if this exists. Let me see. Hold on. Is it on YouTube? We did this. Me and Syph did this. Me and Syph did this 15 years ago. And then we ended up, let me play you the shit.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what happened.
Do you know how much Cypher means to me?
I could guess.
Bro, Cypher played my Crooked Letter record in the tunnel, bro. Because, you know, he couldn't play.
He couldn't play the shit Flex was playing.
Flex was playing, right, bro? And he played my Mississippi shit in the tunnel, bro. And bro, it almost brought tears to his eyes that I remembered him, and I came back and thanked him as David Banner. I was like, bro, I'll never forget you, dog. That meant the world to me, bro. He didn't have to do that
I remember when we had you on during the pandemic, you told me that. And by the way, Syph has a similar history with Lil Jon. Anyways, listen to this.
I bet I know. Sesame Street.
The brand new Sesame Street intro. That's news.
We got Lace, man.
Woo!
Sweeping up clouds away.
Hey! Sesame Street, mother. Hey! Sesame Street, mother. Hey!
You see her? That's when you look at the kids. She's like, ah! She's like, that shit lit. That shit lit. It go.
What you learned today? Nothing. Sesame Street, mother.
In the end, we did that bit. John did it with us. This is so funny. They ended up playing it on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel used it as a bit. And like 3 months later, Syph probably has this because he kept everything. 3 months later, we got the letterhead. The Sesame Street cease and desist letterhead.
Sue the shit out of you, right?
They just told us, don't play that ever again. And that was it.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, just a John story. He's just, anything you ask him to do, like whatever he does, production-wise, vocally, he's so special. And then him coming out during the DNC was one of the most surreal things I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Yeah. And John is literally, bro, a good dude, bro.
Yeah, man.
And he's done so much for music. Like, one of the things that I want for the South and one of the dreams that I have is that we have reverence for the people that came before us the same way New Yorkers do, same way the West Coast does. You're going to go on the West Coast and you're going to hear Snoop at least once a month, if nothing else. If not every week. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Hey, you saw Ice Cube at the Dodgers game last week.
You know what I'm saying?
It never goes away.
You'll be in a white restaurant in New York and hear a Tribe Called Quest instrumental. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, what Usher did, what Lil Jon did, bro, what Outkast did, bro. Like, you shouldn't go through Mississippi and not hear no David Banner like for at least a month. You shouldn't.
No, it should be all that stuff needs to be. Considering it's celebrated on these big broad terms, it certainly needs to be celebrated in the places where it's from. And speaking of which, I have to imagine that within the next 2 years. We'll get that Outkast Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nod. That has to be a thing.
Well,
and it'll be fun, whether it's important or not, whether that's a place that we need to focus on or not is a conversation. But it will be exciting. It will be fun
Yeah.
to just have that conversation out loud about their greatness.
Yeah, man. And it's what I'm scared of when it comes to hip hop is that we abandon. I say this a lot about myself. People don't know that I'm talking about me. I say it's sad that we allow to other people to take our kings and make them their generals, and then they win battles for other people when they were our kings and we didn't have to let them leave.
Yeah, and we didn't have a place to
exactly
put them on the throne.
Yeah, bro, and I feel that way. Like
I don't know what the hell is going to happen with the Universal Hip Hop Museum, if it's going to be what they want it to be, if it's going to end up being political bullshit. Because let's be honest, bro. I mean, I know you don't live here, so you may not see it up close. I've been up close. When you get to making a museum that costs hundreds of millions of dollars, it's only done with politics. It's only done with bullshit. There's no way it gets done. And listen, in a perfect world, I suppose, you know, some billionaire rapper is just like, I'm gonna do the whole thing myself. That's not how the world works. So unfortunately, we don't know what it's gonna end up looking like. But to your point, I hope we do get to a point where we have a home to do it. That's hip hop's home.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know these people personally, but what's the investment? I deal with this investment group. They did work with Nas.
Okay, so
what's the investment group? And I do work with them. My mind.
And they work with Mass Appeal and Nas, or
well, just I know with Nas.
Nas.
A lot of the stuff that happened with him.
When he made his big investments.
Yeah, it was them. But like you have, and I just talked about this.
And Nas is involved with the Hip Hop Museum, by the way.
And I just talked about this. Hip hop is now old enough for us to have influence over CEOs and people. Like we should have hip hop police in the right sense now that grew up under us that would treat people right. We are old enough now to have maybe even a hip hop president or a hip hop mayor. You have people that we influenced enough now that we can possibly have enough reverence for the music. The problem is, and this happens to America in general, bro, the people who grew up being the dickheads, bro, we end up, instead of growing up and freeing the children, we end up becoming those dickheads and doing the same shit. Like, bro, think about, man, we didn't like the security guards and the cops. The motherfuckers end up becoming the motherfuckers and become a part of the same culture instead of freeing people, bro. I say most people don't want to free the people. They want the opportunity to hold a whip. So people see that there's a problem and people can be manipulated and taken advantage of hip hop. So then when the hip hoppers get in the power, instead of changing the system, like we should be at a point now where we change how publishing is distributed. We're smart enough, we're old enough, we have enough of information now that we can change the shit. But instead, we'll go and get a publishing company and fuck over other artists. That's how people are.
And by the way, the same goes with the streamers too, right? Like why don't we, like it feels like everyone complains about how the streaming system is done, but there's no organization to change it.
I told you, people just want to talk shit. Don't nobody want to do nothing, bro. Like, I be telling people all the time, I don't like politics. I don't like hooping and hollering all the time, but I sit back and wait for somebody else to say something. Motherfuckers don't say shit. And then I started noticing, even with some of my friends, bro, like, I don't want to be friends with no politicians. Because if I'm friends with politicians and then I become friend with them, then I'm closer to the politicians than I am the people. Then I'm not going to go at their ass like I should. If you're a politician, I don't want you to be my friend. I want you to do right by the people. I don't want to go out to dinner with you. Take care of the fucking people, then you can be friends. And if you consistently show me that you're a good person, then we can fuck with each other. That's the reason why I fuck with you. Bro, it'll scare you how much I studied you, bro. I was looking for a chink in your armor because I had already felt a certain kind of way because of the shit that was going on. And bro, every time I saw you, I may not agree with everything that you say, but I was like, bro, that shit coming from his heart. I fuck with him. I was waiting. That's why it took me so long. I wanted to say what I said to you at Conway, this shit that I said, and I wanted to say it in your face that night, but I was like, nah, you got to give me a couple more years of consistent. No, bro.
It's been 2 years since then.
Hey, bro, but I'm going to tell you.
Here we are.
Bro, if people courted more, there'd be less divorces, bro. If we spent more time instead of jumping in the bed with each other, bro, and being friends and calling motherfuckers OGs and shit,
Facts,
bro. Like,
bro. No, listen.
Wait.
Listen, I so much rather you mean what you say. And the funniest thing is, and I know the book one day will be written, and I try to have patience, and thank God, like I have these wonderful relationships with people like you, or the aforementioned Badu, or when I saw Chappelle last week, like the people who really matter, I know how they think of me, and that does ease the times when I'm feeling a little bit more frustrated about things. But the one thing I know is one day people are going to realize, you realize in the era that I have come up in, do you realize the era that I'm living in as the white dude on the black station, it's quote unquote black station, we won't get into the ownership and all that stuff, you get the idea, who's outspoken on issues related to me and not related to me. Do you realize if I was a piece of shit, how long ago I would have been up out of here?
Yeah.
I'm live every day speaking from my heart. You have to realize that if I was a piece of shit, this would have already happened.
Let me tell you this, and this is funny and it's crazy that we go through the same shit. I just said this on the radio. I'm not saying that I'm the best person, but statistically, every time I've ever had power, I've given it to black people.
Right.
Whether it was Katrina, whether it was a murder, I've always been front and center. Since high school, I've been that way. Go back and do your research. I was the most revolutionary SGA president at Southern University in Baton Rouge. I'm not saying I'm the best guy, but you haven't seen a chink in my armor yet. But every fucking time I say something that isn't agreed on by people, they throw me under the fucking bus. And I just said this on the radio. I was like, what? Damn, I don't get the benefit of the doubt at all?
Bro, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, whatever the fuck it was, I asked a somewhat stupid, kind of lazy question to Kelly Rowland about, quote, playing like second fiddle to Beyonce. Okay? It's not a psychotic thing to say in a music circle, okay? And I said it, I tried to say it delicate. It didn't come out good. I didn't feel great about it. Whatever. Her and I were cool. She left. It's cool. Bro, you would have thought that the shit that I had brought up was the most horrifying, intentionally nasty. They brought up my obviously my race and gender and everything else. Obviously, that's fine. That's part of the game. I sign up for the game. I get it. But I'm like, sometimes for certain people, whether it be you or whether it be me, it's like the bar is so different. There are other people who actually get on the box and intentionally say foul shit. I asked a poorly constructed question about the biggest star in the history of the fucking world, and you would have thought I was trying to take a shit on someone.
But let me tell you this. This is something I just learned, and I hope it helps you and makes you feel better, bro. Americans know who to say what to. Like, they know you care. They know I care. So they say it to us because if we were pieces of shit, we wouldn't care. We wouldn't give a fuck what
we just keep getting the bag. Let's get the bag. Who cares? Get the bag.
Yeah.
Troll to get the bag.
Right. And so and the thing is then when a person leaves and you don't come back, they don't ever say what they did to you, bro. Like, there's some things I'll tell you as we get closer that places that I defend the most probably treated me the worst. But let me tell you this, what I realized is most people have been socialized and engineered to be the way that they are. And I'll tell you this, bro. If they knew how to treat you, 9 times out of 10, they would know how to treat themselves. And if they knew how to treat themselves, then they never would have needed you. The reason why they need you is because they don't know how to act. They don't know what to say. Most people say shit out of pain. And that's the reason why we defend them. And that's the conundrum, bro. That if they really knew how to act, then hip hop wouldn't be in the situation that it's in, and you wouldn't have any value. The fact that people do act the way that they act is the reason why I'm here. And to be honest with you, the people that you just said that the people that really count, bro, they revere you. Bro, I don't have to be here. I'm doing awesome right now.
I know.
Bro, I came here, bro, because I've been feeling this way, and I want to show these children. Like, we tell these children to stop banging on each other and talk to each other. And I want to do it in front of the world. I want to show motherfuckers, because people look at me a certain kind of way. And so if I can do it, then they know that they can do it, bro. And then if we go on to really continue to build our relationship, bro, people don't know this. My first mentor is an old Republican white lady. And she introduced me to my mentor, who's one of the most powerful black men in America, right? She told me one day, she said, I can't do nothing for you anymore. You need a black man in your life. And I was like, okay, that's true. And the thing that I like about her, she said, listen, David, she said, I love you. And I'm going to take you places that no black person can go. And I'm going to tell you, this was crazy. I probably shouldn't say this in public, but I trust you. She was getting pushed out of her company. Like, she owned the company, and it was some movie shit. And I told her, I said, sweetheart, do you want me? I said, I won't hurt him, but I'll go grab him and ride him around in the trunk for a few hours, and I'll let him go. And she said, you are serious, huh? I said, you fucking right. I love you. And they're not doing you right. It's not fair. You a woman. They shouldn't treat you that way. She said, you're for real, huh? I said, I'm fucking serious. Yes. And she said, nobody has ever done that for me in my life. She said, so guess what I'm going to do for you? She has advised like 3 different presidents. She got like presidents on her Rolodex. She was the first woman who company ever went public, on the stock market. She got that kind of power.
Okay.
And she said, now you got power in places that you never knew before, because I've never had that kind of support. You gave me street support. So now I'm going to give you governmental support. I'm going to give you things that you didn't even know existed. You got a certain kind of protection that you don't even fucking know about. And sure enough, I've taken her to places that no white person can go. And she's taking me to some places where I know a lot of black people can't go, if any. So I'm saying, bro, like, although I know that there's structural racism, I know that there's certain things, there are certain very special spirits. And I've always had a good barometer of people, and you always rubbed me the right way. And I was like, damn, bro, like, even sometimes when you say some shit, I said, I wish he didn't have to say that. That's some shit I should be saying, or other people should be saying. That's from my side of the culture. But bro, things just need to be said. And if they're said and they're said in the right way, and in some ways, whether you will admit it or not, I'll say this, bro. I always wanted to say this. I'll say it on your show. Bro, what's the he's really popular on Atlantic. The dude, he was in the basketball movie. He's young, white, very popular.
Jack Harlow.
Yes. So I had said something about him being white and that being a part of him being so big. And bro, motherfuckers, I'm talking about they got all ass hurt, bro. Like, yeah, it was on TMZ.
It's not even, with all due respect, that's not even interesting.
Like, bro, but watch this shit though.
What? Of course.
And the thing, I've met the Lil Jon cat, bro. Like, he really seems like a great guy.
No, Jack's a good dude.
Right. And I think he got a little butt hurt a little bit too. And I think it was more the pressure from other people. Like, oh, he's saying it just because I was like, but the thing that I was scared of for him, I said it, bro. I was like, that's like me saying that I don't get special preference from people in Mississippi because I'm from Mississippi. It's just the fucking fact. White people are going to be more interested in somebody that looks and acts like them.
Particularly when that person's performing in a black space.
Right. And I was like, bro, there's no shots about that. As a matter of fact, you benefit from it. But what makes you a good man is what you do with that power. And I'm more afraid when you step away from it and act like it doesn't exist at all. That's when a problem steps up, bro. And so what I'm saying about you, bro, is like, man, I hope that you take, and it made me feel good, bro, because I watched your wife, like how that made her feel. And so I know she's able to hear conversations that we don't get a chance to hear. And you say things to her that you don't. I hope that makes you feel better, bro, because there is nothing about what's going on in my life that made me have to do this. And I don't want anything from you. Don't need anything from you. But I do believe as men, in general, bro, if we want this to be a better place on this earth, we got to find a way to talk to each other. We got to find a way, man. And in private, not in front of these motherfuckers.
Bro, listen, I've done, and to, again, I truly appreciate that sentiment. I have tried with the people that I've had the worst problems with. Mm-hmm. I have tried to extend an olive branch. Mm-hmm. Cats really don't want to do it. And not only do they often not want to do it, you try to do it, they throw it in your face. They tell people you reached out and call you a pussy. It's like you really realize how childish. Like the whole joke that you were making, how the way that we were talking, our legs crossed, like this being an adult thing. I'm proud of that. Like I want to be able to have conversations.
Me too.
Like
I'm smart as fuck.
Like we're able to have reasonable conversations about the world. And when I've tried, bro, to extend my hand to a couple of the people I really have gotten into it, the way I always looked at it was listen, you didn't harm anyone in my family.
Yeah.
You may have somewhat tried to take food out of my mouth, but you didn't succeed. Like we can talk. Like this is I don't live a life where I have actual street beef, thank God. Yeah. So there's always a conversation that can be had. I'm gonna shake someone's hand when I see you in person, as long as you didn't and there's one person specifically who's disrespected like people in my life, as long as you haven't crossed that line, we could always have a conversation.
But let me tell you this though, bro, and it's only as I'm growing. Bro, some people have never been given space to grow. And a lot of people just don't know any better. And maybe them hearing and seeing this can be the first time that they can see it happen. I know especially with people from where I'm from, if you look at, on the walls of Egypt, we learn from pictures. You know what I'm saying? I need to see it. I tell my trainer that all the time. Motherfucker told me do 200 push-ups one time. Motherfucker, let me see you do it. And I'm serious. He did them. And so I was like, okay, well, there we go. Even if it's for ego, bro. A lot of times, man, like people don't know. Like I tell people this about who, like religious people all the time. We always pray for forgiveness, bro, but never give any. And it was hard. It was hard for me. But what I realized, and bro, I'm not, I don't really get into what people believe in from a religious standpoint, but I do believe, bro, like so many people pray for forgiveness, but bro, don't give it. And so I tried to be the example of what that looks like. I've always tried to be an example of an intelligent man from the streets that grew in public. You got to think about this, bro, and people don't talk about this. I am one of the few rappers in history ever that hip hop let grow up. Bro, I was a fucking maniac. And bro, I grew up to be a fucking dope. I debated Congress and won, dog. Me. You feel what I'm saying, bro? I built corporations, dog. I've been the first to do some things that nobody on this earth has ever done, bro. There's a mural of me in Jackson, Mississippi that's right across from the Civil Rights Museum, bro. I'm the only person on that mural that's alive.
Crazy.
Like, I'm talking, bro, like, come on, bro. And so, like, for me, man, what I'll tell you is don't worry about them, man. Just be grateful that you see it and that you know better, man. And just get around the people who do give a fuck. Because I don't want to go into this, bro. I want to talk about the acting before I leave.
Yeah, me too. I want to close out with that.
Yeah, we get up here and talk about shit, bro. We didn't miss.
I do want to talk about the acting part.
But I do want to say this to you, man. There's going to come a time in America where we're going to have to make some hard choices. And I don't know if America, with the things that it does to its own people, not just black people, not just Native Americans, but what it does to Americans in general, what they do to our food, to our water. And now that we have the internet and information is so readily available, I don't think that this construct can continue in the way that it has. And some things are going to happen where we as men especially are going to have to make some very harsh decisions. And we're going to have to create a community. And you were talking about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, I don't know whether he's trying to do it or not.
But he's kind of done it, right?
He's building it, bro. I'm up there, dog. And I have to tell Dave a lot of times, bro, like, Dave, I got to go home. I don't have your kind of money. I got money, but I can't.
Not that.
Like, bro, you'll be up there with Dave, and it'll be like a month later, bro. And you like, man, I got kids and a job. Like, brother, shit, have you been up there?
I've never been.
Bro, you got to go. But just remember, like, leave. Like every 4 hours, like I'll leave and just go wander off to just shake, because he'll make sure you have every fucking thing that you need, bro. But your life will end up bleeding away. You hadn't washed your nuts, and
I know
you got a fucking
kids
beard.
are looking for you. So before I let you get up out of here, the acting thing now is where your focus is in this moment.
No, it's probably gonna stay there.
And the Fight Night is on Peacock
Right now. It's the number one viewed show in Peacock history.
Number one viewed show in history?
In Peacock history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Bro, my life has changed. Like, man, some things have happened to me because of that role. Now that I look back, I mean, I'm hearing what people saying, you know, where my acting is now. I can say it too, bro. Like, now that I'm looking at it as a fan, I did that shit. I did, but so many things.
That's crazy. Like, I love that.
So many things were going on in my life, bro, that I was going through so much pain during that time, man. And like, bro, Sam Jackson, and I shouldn't have put this pressure on me. You know, I did my first movie with him, Black Snake Moan, bro. And I'll tell you a quick story, bro. You know, that's when he was really going at the rappers for getting so many.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, we were at the table read, and Sam Jackson literally said in front of everybody, you got to understand, I'm fresh off the streets. I'm the old David Banner.
Okay.
He looks and he says, who's your acting coach? And I tell him, he said, fire them, they suck. Yo, in front of everybody.
No.
So something in my heart told me to say, well, if I suck so bad, sir, would you be my acting coach?
Wow.
And he looks in front of everybody and say, a humble rapper? He said, you serious, huh? I said, yes, sir. He said, meet me in my room in 2 days. So he started coaching me. A week or two later, he had to go to New York for something. He said, David, I got to go to New York tomorrow. I said, what's the address to the hotel? I'll be there. He said, you fucking serious, huh? I said, Sam Jackson is my fucking acting coach? Excuse me, ladies that's in the room. I done flew to Paris for some pussy. The fuck if I can't come and let Samuel Jackson teach me. Fuck that. Now, I'm dead serious, too. I mean,
absolutely. Why would you not?
Yeah, it was some good pussy, but it wasn't, you know.
Learning how to act
from Sam Jackson, you know what I'm saying? And I want to say motherfucker in that moment because Sam would. But honestly, man, so like, bro, I'm a little bit too hard on myself, bro. Like, I really wanted to make him proud of me. Like, I really wanted him to know that time that he spent on me, bro, because I'm from Mississippi. Don't too many people fuck with you like that. No young black man that's, you know, I know what I am. I know I'm a threat to a lot of people. Just my existence, bro. I understand, and I'm clear on that, bro. And him being who he was, bro, and he felt the way that he felt, bro. And he take me in like that, bro. Even if the only reason why I want to be one of the greatest actors of all time is to thank him for that. I'm that fucking competitive, bro. And so I really, really wanted to make him proud of me, bro. And I ain't tell too many people this, bro, but like he spoke to me one time and I told him like I'm in character, like I'm at you. And he looked at me and said, fucking bring it. He didn't say fucking, he said, bring it. I was like, oh shit. I had to go over and collect myself like, damn, Sam Jackson about to chop my fucking head off. And now, man, like, and we did that shit, man. And he told me that he was proud of me, man. And like, as a man that already has certain daddy issues, bro, and I've gone through a lot of shit with people who I've looked up to who have let me down, bro. Like, bro, he didn't have to tell me that, bro. For him to look at me and tell me that I was proud, it gave me a battery in my back that motherfuckers who are fellow actors need to be prepared because I'm coming. In a good way, but I mean it. I'm dead serious.
And this is one of those beautiful parts. No, that's wrong. There's a fucked up thing about society that we all know in terms of the society. American society is crafted for men in entertainment to have longevity longer than women, and it's fucked up. And it's changing slowly, but it is still a thing. And as men, we have the option in entertainment. You could hit a whole new. Well, how old are you right now? 48.
I'm old enough to make a young lady smile.
There you go. Yeah. So you could be close to 50 years old and start your acting run. You really could go on your run at 50 years old.
I'm going to go on my run.
Like right now,
whenever that time is.
Like you could have a whole thing where people then are one day, yo, you know, he used to rap.
But can I say something though? In defense to me personally, most motherfuckers are not as sexy as I am.
That's a great point,
bro. I'm just saying. I know it's a lot of men in this room. If I fucking took off my shirt right fucking now, it would justify any fucking doubt that anybody on this planet. I am somewhat. And I believe this, bro. I believe if I continue working out at the level that I'm working out now. And continue to meditate, I'm close to demigod level right now.
But when did you get super serious about working out?
I've talked about this a lot, bro. But I actually talked to. Well, I've been serious before. I've been super in shape before.
I'm about to say you had. I mean, you were shirtless on an album cover before.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've been yoked before, but this time it was actually Method Man.
Oh yeah. He'll yeah.
I talked to Method Man, and when I was going through my depression, bro. And I called him, and I didn't know, like all the stuff that people know now, I didn't know that he had been through a depression too. And he told me, he said, Banner, I couldn't sleep either because I was only sleeping like 2 hours a night, bro. And he said, bro, the only common denominator in all the things that you go through is you. And you can only change you. He said, so when I was going through it, I just started going to the gym every day. And so, no lie, bro, I started going to the gym. And no matter how bad shit was, bro, how tired I was, how much sleep I didn't get, I got in that fucking gym. And, bro, after about 4 months, bro, I started seeing a change, not only in my body, in my life. And it was almost changing at the level that my body was changing, bro. So, like, when I first got the first 2 abs, that's when I think I got my first acting role, bro. So, like.
Yo,
I mean, not the first one, but like the new actor.
Right. That's super inspirational. Yo, his name is David Banner. Go watch Fight Night on Peacock. We will do this again. Thank you for your honesty and just openness and kindness and this conversation. It means a lot to me personally. Mm-hmm. I think people really enjoy hearing it, and I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man. And thank you for playing that Pastor Troy song for me, man. Like, bro, you don't know sometimes just for some people to hear certain things, bro, they need it. I'm going to say this.
By the way, thank you for playing it for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say this in closing, bro. One thing that I never ever liked is, and I would like to leave on a positive note, but I do want to say this, bro. Like, you know, like when you have other artists from other areas, bro, like we'll go get a Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? We'll go get, you know, a legendary rapper from New York or from LA or from the West Coast, bro. Like, but like why ain't nobody ever went and got A-Ball and MJG, bro? Like everybody is biting, not everybody, but a lot of people biting Project Pat style. Like, go pay him a certain amount of money, bro, and get him on a record, bro.
Let me give credit where credit is due. I'm pretty sure, you know who did a good job with that? Who's from here?
What's that?
ASAP Mob.
Oh yeah.
Rocky and Ferg always did a good job. They go grab their Southern cats.
But what you can say about them is even before they started doing it, they were trying to give props and say, man, I got my style from here. And then people ate them up.
Yeah, like, no, you're
giving
from Harlem.
credit. Like, but no, they were giving homage. Like, I actually was standing up like, don't do that. Let them boys, because they'll end up, because they're from New York, they'll get a certain reverence, and then they'll give that power back to you. But thank y'all. I got to pee.
Me too. David Banner.
I'm peeing first, though.
All right.
All right, bye.